have a problem with vocations, obviously, in the Society of Jesus and throughout the American church. We have all these apostolates that we're in and we've established and we work in, and you look at them and say, even with our lay partners and collaborators, how will they be sustained? How will they keep going? So it's a paradox for me, because the challenge for me is, you know, on the practical level, you can look at all that stuff. And then you can look at what's happening in Japan today. Or you can look at the church's sexual abuse crisis. Or you can look at the pain in people's lives. And the paradox is, what could be actually tough is you let that overwhelm you. And you take your eyes off of Jesus. And you take your eyes off of the crucified Christ that actually promises resurrection, that actually promises in the midst of pain, in the midst of suffering, in the midst of fighting, in the midst of ideological strife, that God is the one that's going to bring us peace and hope and healing. And so the challenge for the Jesuit, at least this Jesuit, is not to get lost in the really important big questions, but to stay focused on the fact that I don't have the answers, but I fell in love with this man by the name of Jesus, who told me I didn't have to have the answers, but he asked me to come and follow him. And so in the midst of everything that's going on, it's my job to kind of look out. There's a couple in the audience. They're going to get married, and I get to witness their marriage. And to see that and say, you know what? God's alive. Or this weekend I'm going to be baptizing a baby, and I hope I get to hold it, and I hope the baby poops on me, because I know God's alive. Mm-hmm. And seeing people respond to Japan, and seeing people wrestle with the church and yell out things and scream that abuse isn't right, but see that people still care and that we're coming together and we're trying to find this God of love. If I keep the focus on Jesus and I start looking for Jesus, I don't get overwhelmed with all the things I could get overwhelmed with and then become unfaithful and leave. That's the challenge for us all, the believer and non-believer. But that's the challenge of a good marriage. That's the challenge of a good friendship. And I got some great companions to walk with me. When I get a little discouraged, they lift me up. I got a God that's promised to be there. And I got great partners in the university that I work with, that I believe in them, they believe in me. And I got some good friends. And at the end of the day, the gospel tells me, choose life, Jack. Choose life, and you'll find God. That's what I want to do.